Welcome to ACO Chess, and this is part 4 of the history of the development of chess theory, opening theory that is. And here we just spoke of Tarrasch in the previous video, and Tarrasch was known for the themes that he established and his extremely dogmatic approach to things, and how he kind of tried to force that things were in a certain way or played in a certain way. Now, the person who helped advance chess beyond this point was Tchigorin. Tchigorin was the exact opposite of Tarrasch. Tarrasch, like I said in the previous video, would go as far as losing games just to prove certain points, which obviously we're not holding up in position and in play. Tchigorin was the exact opposite of dogmatism. He contested a lot of games with Tarrasch in efforts to demonstrate that his ideas or at least the way he viewed chess was what was right. And Tchigorin developed a lot of opening ideas which we still use up till today. One of his major elements which he introduced or demonstrated was how piece pressure could be used to fight strong pawn centers. And one of the openings he really championed was an opening which is now named after him, which arises after d4, d5, and c4, knight c6. This is called the Tchigorin's defense. This was at a time when everyone sort of mainly defended these c4 and d4 openings with by building a pawn center, like in the Queen's Gambit. Tchigorin took his own route and demonstrated in many games that you could actually fight this kind of center by using pieces and piece pressure. This game was a game he played against Pillsbury. This was in 1896 at the St. Petersburg tournament. And after knight f3, Tchigorin goes bishop g4. The whole idea is to undermine the center by attacking the pieces which are supporting it. And now here, white takes on d5. Of course, you have to do something about it. Queen takes allows knight to come to c3, and now black is being pushed backwards. So here, Tchigorin takes on f3. Now, you could take on f3 with the g-pawn, but in the game, he took on c6. I think nowadays, I might be wrong here, but nowadays, the theory here sort of goes something like this. Take on f3, and when you take on d5, it goes e3 followed by knight to c3, something like this. I remember looking at something like this. But okay, here after bishop takes on f3, pawn takes on c6, he takes with the bishop, and white plays knight c6. So obviously, or if he gets a chance, I'm sure he wants to play something like this pawn on d4 pushed to d5, threatening the bishop. So black goes e6, and after e4, he goes bishop b4. So again, he's threatening to take on c3, which would render this pawn on e4 weak, and he would pick it up. Of course, white can see this, so he goes and plays f5, f3. And now, Tchigorin continues with his idea of undermining the center, f5. White goes e5, he goes knight d7. So now you can see he's managed to create some weaknesses in the center, particularly the square on d5. So now he wants to plant a piece there, and white goes a3. So here white is expecting maybe to gain the bishop pair, but Tchigorin keeps it. One thing about Tchigorin is that he believed in playing for the initiative as a way of countering any form of attack. So he wasn't one to sit and defend static positions. He really enjoyed dynamic positions. So bishop d5, queen a4 with check, and c6. So it's important to see that here, when the queen comes with this check, it's also threatening the bishop on a5. So you really want to play and have space for the bishop to come. But also, if you know the way Tchigorin played, he wanted also possibilities of the queen being able to move from d8 to b6 if need be. You know, so by putting a pawn on c6, he creates this path and makes this possible. So now white goes bishop d3. Doesn't want to exchange this piece because it will just plant another strong piece for black on d5. So he goes back to d3. Now he goes queen b6. He's not really worried about b4 in this position because he knows that he'll be able to take on d4, threatening c3 with check and so on. So white is the one who goes bishop c2, because when the queen comes on d4, if need be, it would be attacking the bishop. The move really also prevents this much more important threat, which would trap the queen. So after bishop c2, he goes queen a6. This move cuts off the white king from castling. You can see how he's utilizing pieces to dominate this whole position. And after bishop d1, okay, the idea behind bishop c1 is to be able to, bishop d1 is to be able to at least defend this diagonal and perhaps castle the black king. But after bishop c4, black has seized the central squares and they set up a powerful piece center. So Tchigorin brought this to the chess community, and this was a big step in the development of opening theory.